Hello, this is your special education virtual content specialist here with the 8th grade math video for April 20th. This lesson, like all other lessons, can be found on TeachHub. We provide the teachers the title of the lesson, the focus question, the learning objectives, the standards, and objectives. We also provide instructional and technology guidance for using this resource, implementation guidance for the lesson, guidance for summarizing, guidance for assessment during instruction, and general methods of engaging students with disabilities and multilingual learners. 8th graders are going to be working on their exponents and scientific notation unit, day 28, multiplying, dividing, and estimating with scientific notation, part B, how is scientific notation used to compare very large or very small numbers. As a reminder, this is the second part of a 2-day lesson. The introduction asks students to state whether each equation is true or false, and then explaining their reasoning. To support students with disabilities, allow them to have a calculator, and provide them processing time. So for the first equation, it is false, and a sample explanation can be that the exponents were multiplied when they should have been added. The second equation is true when dividing, the exponent in the denominator is subtracted from the numerator. And the third equation is false because multiplication can be done in any order, but the multiplication in this problem does not affect the power of 10. For the Explore, students are going to be using the table below to answer the questions on the slides that follow. To support students with learning disabilities, you want to transform the Explore into the workshop model. So this problem can be an I do. Estimate how many Earths side by side would have the same width as the sun. So we are going to estimate. So if we take the information we were given, so 1.392 times 10 to the 6th power over 1.28 times 10 to the 4th power, if we reduce it to 10 to the 6th power over 10 to the 4th power, that gets us 10 to the 2nd power. And so it's approximately 100 Earths side by side to have the same width as the sun. You can make this question the we do, and it asks, estimate how many Earths it would take to equal the mass of the sun. That's 1.989 times 10 to the 30th power over 5.98 times 10 to the 24th power. So if we estimate it to be approximately 2 times 10 to the 30th over 6 times 10 to the 24th power, we get 1/3 times 10 to the 6th, which gets us 333,333.3 repeating. We can round down and estimate it to be approximately 300,000 Earths to equal the mass of the sun. For this I highly suggest you give students the distance from Earth for both Neptune and Venus so that they're not going back slides to do this. Neptune is 4.3 times 10 to the 9th power, while Venus is 4 times 10 to the 7th power kilometers away from Earth. Now that students have this information available, they can do the work, and so they should say 4.3 times 10 to the 9th power divided by 4 times 10 to the 7th power. If we reduce it to just the powers of 10, that gets us 10 to the 2nd power. So Neptune is 100 times farther from Earth than Venus. For this part of the Explorer, you can also designate it as an ideal, and you should give students the mass of Mercury, which is 1.024 times 10 to the 26th power, and the mass of Neptune, which is 3.3 times 10 to the 23rd power. Now that students have that information, they can take this and use it to approximate. So they can approximate it as 1 times 10 to the 26th over 3 times 10 to the 23rd power, and that gets them 1/3 times 10 to the 3rd power, which is 333.3 repeating, which gets you approximately 300 Mercuries. Just so you know, this is how Open Up Resources did its approximation for the Explorer, but you could also have students use their calculators and approximate from those values. To prepare for the summary, students are going to record their response to the focus question. You can have students do the cool down. For additional practice, you can have students do IXL 8th grade, skills G.4 and G.5, the practice problems from Open Up Resources, or engage New York's Module 1, Lesson 10, exercises 1, 2, 5, and problem set number 1 and 3B. Here are the sources used to create this material. That way you can use it to support your students' digital learning. If you have any questions, please reach out to the virtual content specialist. Thank you.